Alright, what up everyone? It's your boy Akatsuki here and welcome back. Finally, I know most of you are like, yes! Finally, I've been waiting a couple of days for this part. Yes, it's part 3 of What If Naruto was born as a, well, tailed beast. As finally I've been given the ship. It is a harem. Some of you, most of you might unsub for this, but meh. A couple of choices in it are mine and mine alone, as other choices are other people's. One person wanted Ino in the harem, so I said sure. Then this might kinda sound incest. Yugito and Mito. The reason why I say incest is because his parents are sealed inside of these two people. Do you understand how weird it is? Just banging one night with your two girlfriends, and then your parents are just in their mindscapes going, what? What? Like, what? Seriously, it would be extremely awkward. Do you not think that? If you think that, let me know in the comments. If you don't think that, tell me in the comments. As Naruto, and as another part of the ship, which is purely by my decision and my decision, well, along with one other guy who, shout out to him. Let me just show you what he looks like. YouTube. No. Pretty much this dude's a friggin' OG. He's a G. And seriously, just where is he? Where are you? Ah, this guy. He is a G. Follow him. Subscribe to him. Yeah, the guy with the Momoshiki. He is just a G. He's funny and kind of serious, and he gives me good decisions. And this joke is just hilarious. 8 tetragrams, 128 palms, F, or belt. As pretty much he and I have both decided that Kaguya will be a part of the harem. Yes, Kaguya Akatsuki. However, here is the thing. In this harem, I have decided on tailed, as it's mostly Jinchuriki harem, as Ino's the only non-Jinchuriki. As I have decided to, you'll see later within the story. The one dude I just showed you guys, he already knows how Kaguya is going to be relevant in the story. As we go back to the big old day, to the big day, it's the great, all the nations, all the villages are just surrounding Konoha. As they have almost all the Jinchuriki against them. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Danzo, the elders, the third Hokage, all of them are peeing their pants right now. Just like, crap, we're about to die. And then Danzo remembers someone he works with. A little someone called Snake. And a little someone called Orochimaru. As he basically does a sort of summoning jutsu as he summons Orochimaru, who was just basically training with his, how do I explain it? Feet. He's training on how to kick. As Orochimaru did not die in the battle. If I said that he died, he did not. If I said that he didn't die, then good for past me. As Orochimaru is just summoned as he was training with kicking. As Naruto is, as Danzo then says, Orochimaru here is probably one of the only people who can help beat those beasts. As they're like, oh, then very well. As the third Hokage on Reaper Death seals the hands. As he then says, I can use my taijutsu now. Hooray. As Orochimaru begins practicing and then begins telling them how the battle will go, at least for him. As we go to the other side of, I'm going to the outside of Konoha, as it's just everyone else riled up. And then, just to scare the Leaf Village even more and make them seem like there's a lot more people than there actually is, they do something that once happened in a good movie called The 300. As Naruto then says, what's y'all profession, lads? As they all have weapons and they're swinging them as they go, ho, ho, ho. As the Leaf Village is just like, we're about to die. We are literally about to die. We are about to die. Orochimaru, sorry if I said when the attack happened, it kinda did, but he did not see Naruto. As everyone as he was busy with the third Hokage. But he heard that after he left, something happened and the third Hokage was trying to get his hands on something. But he did not know what. Scratch it. Not almost all the Biju are against the Leaf. All the Jinchuriki. All 9 freaking Jinchuriki are against the Leaf. With a whole bunch of villages, big, small, important, little. Yeah, they're all there. As they're just preparing to wail on the Leaf. As Orochimaru, and as the battle begins, as whole armies and squadrons of shinobi just start charging at the Leaf, as the Leaf is trying to defend and themselves as they're, well, basically the Leaf is pretty much being run by Orochimaru here, as he has money, he has food, and he has warriors, and he has weapons and armor, as he kind of is running the Leaf right now. As he's telling everyone what they need to do to prepare for the battle, as boom, Gaara, and boom, a giant sandy arm slashes through a giant wall, like a border, or a wall of the village, as they're just like, what in the... As they then see It's freak. It's Gaara in his full Shikaku form. As he's as Gaara and Shikaku are kind of working together right now because they both want to destroy the village. As Shikaku just begins, and Gaara slash Shikaku begins stomping on buildings and roaring and slashing at things. Things and commanding sand and, well, using wind style attack and wind type attacks. As then then fire begins to break out as it's blue fire, and Yugito is attacking. As then from behind them, we see, as then basically, imagine being blocked into a corner by two bullies, or, well, being at like a crossroads and there's two guys coming up at you, and you're backing, and you're slowly like, oh crap, and you're trying to back away, as then Yagura walks behind the villagers and people who are trying to run away, as he's in his Three Tails form, as then I cannot is it Hans? I cannot remember the Hazanbo. I cannot remember the name of the Four Tails Jinjuriki, but yeah, he's also there. So just imagine them being boxed in by four Jinjuriki. As then Orochimaru uses a sort of forbidden seal as he knocks the Jinjuriki out. As he basically, the seal knocks out the Jinjuriki cold. As then, and he says, bingo. As all that everyone sees is he knocking out the Jinjuriki. But what that seal really does is it extracts 50% of the tail beast, and of the Biju, or only the yin side, as he then just says, thank you very much, as the seal then fades away, and as the curse mark he used fades away. As right now, he has the yin sides of Matatabe, Son Goku, Shikaku, and Isobu. As the Jinjuriki wake up and begin attacking the village again, but Orochimaru does not attack them again. As they aren't in their beast forms, but they're destroying things. As he doesn't attack them because he already has 50% of their tail beast. As then he goes to, the Five Tail, and as he then goes over to Koyoku, and the Jinjuriki of Koyoku, the Jinjuriki of Saiken, Fu, I believe from the lightning, or, no, Fu from the waterfall, yeah, it's the waterfall, is also there, because, when an entire armada of villages is against one, you kinda are inclined to join them. As the waterfall, and as Fu begins attacking in her Seven Tails form, or her Chome form, as then Killer Bee is just beatboxing and slashing things to bits. And then, three of them, the 5 tails, 6 tails, and 7 tails Jinchurikis get sealed. Get the curse mark that Orochimaru put on the other 4. As then Killer Bee is then suddenly overrun with a whole bunch of built up rage from Gyuki, as he asks Gyuki, why the crap are you so angry? As Gyuki then says, that bastard took my horn, and that bastard took my horn. As Killer Bee then says, wait, I thought you only had one horn. As he then says, no, I was in Blue Bee, then he gave him some sort of chakra pills, and I'm sort of sealed, or angry. Basically, he gave him rage-inducing pills, which I bust out. Honor and genjutsu sort of pills, and then I was controlled to bust out. He beats me up and takes my horn. So, let's give it all we got. As they begin, and as Killer Bee begins taking things seriously, as he's actually fighting against Orochimaru. However, Orochimaru then uses the seal on him and just extracts the yin side of Gyuki, as he then goes over to where he sees Mito, as Mito is in her not Kurama form. Well, okay, she's not in the Nine Tails Demon Fox form. She's in the Kurama golden form. You know, the Sage mode, I think it's called, or the Jinchuriki mode. I can't remember. As well, Mito pretty much is trying to dodge Orochimaru, as he then puts the curse mark on her and drains. Well, no, okay. One little change, I forgot to mention this. What if she has the full 9 tails? Okay. As he then takes the yin side away, or all the bad negativity. As he takes that away from her, he takes all that side of Kurama away, as she is knocked out, and then wakes up like the others and begins fighting again. As he thinks my work is done, but he is soon stopped by an 11-tailed giant sort of fox panther demon. As he's just like, is that an 11 tails? Interesting. As he begins running at Naruto, as well, Naruto isn't really fighting the village, as he's fighting some other bastards who showed up, or people who want him more than anything, as they have discovered, and as he cannot be sealed within them, and with any of them. But here's the thing, he can still be controlled. And I'm not telling you how, because, well, he still can be, but he will not be. As the Akatsuki are trying to beat Naruto, as he's just like, bish. It literally feels like a fly just touched a god. As Naruto's giant tails just sweep them off their feet, as he's just like, weaklings. And then Orochimaru begins blitzing and going at fast speeds, trying to seal Naruto. But I'm using his curse mark on Naruto, as it is not working, as he's just like, what? As then Naruto says, as then Naruto then begins releasing a sort of more sort of Matatabe-like energy, as then his 11 tails and his entire body is covered up with blue energy, thus creating this like samurai armor. As it's kinda like the Kurama Susanoo, except add 2 more tails. Okay? As pretty much he sees that this guy's way stronger than the others, as he's just like, is he a Jinchuriki? I gotta defeat this Jinchuriki. As Naruto then just suddenly, pretty much, Orochimaru then stops and falls to the ground. Not dead, but like he cannot get up. Like gravity itself is basically, imagine gravity as chains, and imagine like thousands of them wrapped around Orochimaru. And he's just like, what in the... As Naruto then snaps as the gravity gets heavier and heavier. As Orochimaru then says, what in the world is this? As then Naruto says, oh, it's my Kekkei. I have the power, I have unlimited power over gravity and reality. Yes, his Kekkei is a gravity and reality Kekkei. As he then says, which means I can alter reality. Which basically means I can change reality. Which also means, as Naruto would then snap his fingers, as he would then summon the first Hokage, the second Hokage, and the fourth Hokage, as he'd say, get 'em, boys. As they would just, and as he would also snap his fingers again, as they would turn into giant wolves. As he'd say, get 'em, boys. As the 3 giant wolves would just be leaping towards Orochimaru, as he just says, I'm out, and poof, as a giant snake appears out of and as Orochimaru sort of regurgitates himself and just slithers away. As Naruto's just like, weirdo. But pretty much after that, the Akatsuki are still trying to attack Naruto, as Konoha is using paper bombs and, well, her paper wings, trying to attack Naruto, and, well, Hidan's using his scythe thing, Sasori is using his puppets, what was it? Pain is using Shinra Tensei. Pain is using Shinra Tensei and Almighty Push and Universal Pull, as he's trying to defeat Naruto, but he just simply cannot. As Obito is the only one who is, and Obito is sort of just, or the one they call Toby, is just standing there, as he's just like, why the crap won't you die? As then Naruto hears a laugh, a sort of chuckle, as it's a feminine voice saying, kill them. Kill them for me, won't you? As Naruto then says, aight. Okay. As he then shrinks into his human form, or his humanoid form, as as they're just like, he he ain't a Jinchuriki, he the beast. This is the beast. As then, and every we basically skip 10 minutes as everyone else is just on the ground bleeding, choking, or already dead. As only one who is still standing is Obito, or the one they call Toby. As he is, as Naruto, every time he attacks, the attack just freaking goes through Obito. As he says, "Alright, enough!" As he snaps his fingers, and then suddenly, Obito's Sharingan disappears. As he's just like, the crap? I mean, the quack? As we go to Kakashi, who is just right now, Kakashi is outside of the leaf, as he's basically just, fishing. Having a little bit of break time. As then, and his eye begins to sting, as he gets and the eye that is not covered begins to sting, as he then looks, and he can see perfectly, as he then says, the crap? As he basically grabs a sort of mirror and just sees. He has both of Obito's Sharingans. He's just like, the quack just happened. As we go back to Naruto and Obito, as he then says, "Gotcha, bitch!" As he summons a ginormous sword out of, and as he basically then just lowers the gravity to -0, and to in the negatives, as Obito begins floating and is just floating in mid-air. As Naruto then begins manipulating the gravity to slam Obito into buildings and the ground and multiple times, and as Obito is nearly dead, as all the others, as he then says, "Alright, I've had my fun, now time to die." As Naruto then just goes at the speed of thought, which the speed of thought is faster than like 100 times the speed of light. As Naruto then blitzes all the Akatsuki as he stabs them all in the hearts. However, Hidan is still alive, as he just says, "You annoyed me." As he then says, "How about this?" As he snaps his fingers and Hidan then falls to the ground dead. As he then says, "How about altering reality to make I alter reality to make you not immortal. Now you're dead." As all the pains, and as he then just snaps his fingers and says, "And now Nagato is dead." As he then just walks away, whistling like nothing happened as he goes back into the war, as everyone begins peeing their pants right now, as Naruto begins bodying everyone, and as Naruto turns into his giant demon form again, as he begins bodying everyone. And they're just like, "Please let us live." And he's just like, "What? You imprison beasts." I believe that the practice of Jinchurikis is fine, as long as the Jinchuriki and the companion and the Jinchuriki and the beast are able to get along. That's perfectly fine. What isn't fine is that your village uses Jinchurikis like weapons. I don't play that. As Naruto then begins to divide, and then just snaps his fingers as suddenly giant flames just spew over the entire village. As they're just like, what? As Naruto says, I altered reality to make dragons a thing. As he then just points upward as a giant red dragon is just fire breathing on the village, as he then just says, go away, please. As he snaps his fingers, but the fire is still there. As the dragon is gone. As he then says, you fools are dead now. And you fools will now all die. As he summons like 1,000 ginormous shurikens. Like, when I mean ginormous, I mean the size of, those street light poles? Like 1,000 of those, 1,000 of shurikens the size of those. As he then says, die. And as he then says, infernal destruction. As they all hit the Leaf Village, and then just a giant purple explosion happens. As he then says, the battle is won. Now, let us go back to our villages. As, well, pretty much they all have alliances with each other now. As they begin walking away. As, crap. Hold on. Right. Sorry, my brother is eating a bag of chicken crackers. Sorry. Well, everyone begins to leave as some hidden Leaf survivors just come out and begin rebuilding. One of these, of course, is Yamato, as he begins just creating tiny huts and tiny houses out of wood. It's just like, this'll take a couple of hours. As we go back to Orochimaru, who just, fucking no. Hold on. As Orochimaru basically is just smiling to himself, saying, yes, I just scored big time. As all the halves, yins of the tailed beasts, he basically linked that curse mark all the way to a scroll. As he takes the scroll, which is just radiating with red and black energy, as he's just like, ooh, I cannot wait for godlike power. As Orochimaru just goes into, then says, alright, deep breath in, deep breath out. As then says, Kabuto, Kabuto, everyone, come here, as he calls the Sound Four and Kabuto and all of them. As he then says, what I'm about to do right now changes the very course of events of our lives. As he then says, observe. As he then grabs the scroll and says, within the scroll is each a half of the 9 Biju. There is a powerful 11th, but I cannot beat it. Now, observe and be amazed. As I am about to take in the power of these 9 Biju all at once. as he then says, which, oh, don't worry, for those who are wondering if if I'll basically become schizophrenic or not, I have already had idea for that, as I took just some part of the Ghetto Mazu over here. Just a giant part of it. I took it while the Akatsuki weren't looking. As pretty much, this is the old Ten Tails husk. It's just old DNA of a legendary beast called the Ten Tails' husk. Now, if the Gerumazu basically merges with the 9 Biju, it gives you the Ten Tails. Well, what I'm about to do, as he then pulls out a vial, I turned it into its purest form, Ten Tails Chakra, and then I liquidated it. Which means, as he then grabs the vial and just chugs it down, as he then says that, as he grabs the soul and then the scroll and swallows it whole, that something amazing is about to happen. As then a giant orb would begin to form around Orochimaru. Well, not a orb, sorry. As Orochimaru's skin would begin to change, as he would then shriek out in pain and say, I need to get away so I don't destroy the entire my base. As he then, while his skin is changing, he runs over to a random clearing where no one is, not even one of his ninja. As he says, the ultimate power is mine. As then, as Orochimaru then, his eyes sort of change, his hair becomes white, as his skin, already pale, stays the same. As horns then form out of his head, as he basically, Orochimaru becomes this. As he then says, this power, it's magnificent. Well, not exactly. He's becoming like this, as there's still parts of the transformation left to be done. As we go to a person who had talked to Naruto, and who basically was the one who told Naruto to kill them and to kill the Akatsuki, and she pretty much influences all of Naruto's decisions. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go back in time. As Naruto is at the Leaf Village, which is not destroyed because this is a flashback, as the female voice then says defeat him while he's fighting Gaara. As the feminine voice says, defeat him and he'll be a powerful ally. As Naruto not really understanding it, for later, as Naruto not really understanding it, fights, and he beats Gaara. As we go a bit further, as Naruto is being chained up, as the voice then says, harness all of your chakra and transform into your purple and black form. as he then says, okay, as Naruto would then turn to his purple and black form and break the chains that everyone was putting on him. As we go back to when he got back to the village, as the voice then says, as as they are talking about how the Leaf Village tried to defeat Naruto and how tried to chain up Naruto, as the voice then says, as you're angry, right? Then you're angry at that village, right? Then start a war. Then start the Fourth Great War. As Naruto as as Naruto as Naruto would begin to as Naruto would ask about a war. As then, well, during the war, he would be told to kill the Akatsuki. As we go back to now, as the voice would then, as Orochimaru this time would hear the voice, as it would say, as the voice would then say, hey, you are not the body I was expecting, but I'll take it. As he's just like, huh? As then Orochimaru begins aching in pain, as, well, pretty much Kaguya comes out. Well, in her bunny form, except sort of imagine it a sort of smaller humanoid bunny. Basically, imagine the bunny Kaguya's size with. Imagine this Ten Tails form, Kaguya's size and humanoid. As for the giant tail on the bunny, basically shrink that down to what you'd actually think a bunny's tail looks like. As, yeah, it'd be a small tail, which you could only really see if she was naked. As the bunny begins to grow, and the white sort of humanoid bunny then begins to grow fur. And then begins to grow hair. As long, silky white hair forms, as she then says, well, this was unexpected. As the voice then says, it appears that I was a bit early, and since he was not done transforming, I morphed not into my normal form, but, well, 10 tails. As she would then say, well, time to do a little bit of stops, and to go to a couple of stops, as she goes over to the Sound Village, or basically Orochimaru's hideout. As he then, as the woman then says, die, as 10 tails, and as the bunny tail then sort of unfolds as it then turns into and as the bunny tail then morphs into 10 tails which rip through and which then rip through her clothing as yes, of course an outfit appears on her. As it's white, as basically imagine a white cloak sort of like the one that pretty much imagine a white cloak like the one that Naruto wears in canon, except, well, make it white with gold and purple, and with yellow and purple tomoe. As the woman then just knocks and then just breaks through the door, as she then says, "Die." As the 10 tails then just start beginning throwing people around and killing people right off the bat. As then 10 minutes later, the whole base is ransacked and everyone is dead. As Kabuto is dead as well. And as he's not dead yet. As Kabuto was just trying to escape as he's just like, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell? This is unexpected. What even is this thing creature? Just gotta wait. As then, and as 2 tails then grab Kabuto by the legs and then drag him away. As he then screams, "No!" As then there's just blood. As then there is muffled sounds. As basically the 10 tails wrap around Kabuto, as there's muffled sounds and then an exploding noise. Bones crunching, then exploding. And then an exploding noise. As then there's just nothing but blood and gut. And atoms, and just blood and fractions of bone and guts. As the woman then says that was slightly annoying. Sorry, I did not notice that my phone was like that until now. As she then says, time to, I guess, leave. As she begins walking out, as there's nothing but a giant just pool of guts and blood left at the base. As she then says, now it's time to go see Naruto-kun. As she just walks out of the pool, and as she walks out in the forest, as she then says, now, what village is he in again? As the woman would then think of, and as the woman would then think, where? As right now, the tails had transformed back into the small little bunny tail, which you can't see unless she's completely naked. As her cloak is instantly fixed. As she then says, alright, now where's Naruto? Now, which village is it? I guess I'll just go around to different villages and ask around. As we go back to Naruto. As we go back to Naruto, who is just training. As he's just like, alright, gotta train and prepare myself for anything. as Naruto always trains. Always, his bee is walking by and says, Naruto, there is Naruto, you will have two bunkmates, and there's a person at the gates looking for you. She says that she's sorry about the village, and she wants to see you and talk to you. As Naruto then says, "All right," as he walks down, and as he sees Yugoto and Mito as they're his new roommates. As then says, "Hello, I heard there's someone at the gates waiting for me." As they then say, "Yeah." As Naruto goes to the Cloud Village gates, as he then sees as he basically then sees a girl with blonde hair, human skin, and she kind of has like a ponytail, and she then says, I came to apologize about my village, attacking you, trying to chain you up." As he then says, ah, "You must be a survivor of the leaf. Sorry that it had to get down. Intense." And she then says, "No worries, can I stay here? I kinda went off to apologize to you, and my village said that and the other survivors said that I was banished for wanting to help a demon. And for wanting to apologize to a demon." He then says, "Oh, sure. You can sleep in my you can sleep in my room after we get you all registered up. Um, as you can sleep in my room with me and my roommates." As he then says, "So, yeah, just tell me if you need anything," and I'm in like, "Anything. Okay? Just tell me. I'll be there." As well, Naruto goes back to training as the three girls are just watching him and sighing like, as well, Yugito, Mito, and Ino are just watching Naruto thinking, he's so dreamy. As Naruto is walking, is just training, as he then says, "It doesn't seem like anyone's near." Not that it would matter, because I'm widely known through the village as the 11 Tails, and they respect me for that. As he then sprouts his 11 tails, as he then says, "Alright, this should be good." As someone is watching him, as he's like, "I wonder why," and as this person is Zetsu. As he then says, "I wonder why mother wanted him to not be captured. I mean, seriously, he would have freed her, and we could have freed her right now if we had him under our control. But no. Mother wanted him to be free, and so she isn't. My mother wanted us not to capture him, so she isn't free." as he then just says, oh well, I guess I'll just study this guy. As then he hears a voice in his head, which it's the female's voice, as she then, I'm just gonna be 100% real with you. This person is. No, I'm not gonna tell you guys. You'll have to tell me in the comments who she is. Except the one dude I showed you guys, he does not. As the girl, and as a female voice would go into Zetsu's head, as she would say, "Hey, where are you?" As he would say, "The Cloud Village. Why?" As the voice then says, "I am free. Do you have eyes on the 11 tails?" Do you have eyes on the 11 tails? As he then says, quite literally, I'm looking at him. But one question, how are you free? As she then explains the whole thing with Orochimaru. As he then says, I knew that snake was doing something. Oh well. As he then says, oh well. I guess I'll just... Anyways, as he then says, oh well, I guess I'll just wait for you here. As the female then says, perfect. And as the voice then says, perfect. As we go back to the female, or the 10 tails, as she's just wandering and walking. And she then says, yes, just gotta get to Naruto-kun. As she has been asking around everywhere except the Cloud Village, as she says, time to go to the Cloud Village. As well, Zetsu is just sitting at the Cloud Village watching Naruto, as Naruto then says, looks like no one's around, so time to nap. As he then turns into his 11-tailed state, as he then just, does the Kurama napping position. As then says, as he's just, like, right now, napping. As then Mito and Yugito are just walking, and they see Naruto in his 11 tails form, as they're just like, holy, that's a big form. Because right now, it's not really that big. As I said, it's the size of a minivan. So they're just like, aw, he's cute, but also, how can something so strong be so cute? As we go to their mindscapes, as Matatabi then says, sleepy as always, just like his father. As Kurama is in the mindscape saying, it appears he got it appears he has my tiredness. Oh well, time for naps. If he can nap, so can I. As he then just puts his head on his shoulders as he falls asleep. as, well, a woman walks up to the Cloud Village gates as she then says, as she is wearing a hood, like a full body hoodie, as she says, "Let me in." As she says, "Let me in," as she walks in and kills the guards, as she says, just got to get to the, just gotta get to him, as she then walks away into the village. As that is where I'm ending this off with, yes, y'all just got Cliffhanger no Jutsu'd, and you probably don't know who either of the voices that we're talking are. So, yeah, goodbye. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Peace.